Hello my dear fashion lovers, I am thrilled to welcome you back. Today Jean-Paul Gaultier hands over its Spring-Summer 2025 Haute Couture collection to guest designer Ludovic de Saint Sernin. And the result is striking. He instantly throws us into a fascinating theatrical narrative, a kind of fantastic and carnal shipwreck where only the most sensual creatures would have survived. From the very first seconds, the atmosphere in the room turns electric, the glamour becomes provocative, and the experience begins. The collection deliberately steps away from Gaultier's traditional ultra-structured cuts and geometric tailoring, heading instead toward a much more open ground for exploration made of fluid, diaphanous, almost liquid silhouettes. Ludovic de Saint Sernin chooses to filter the house's DNA, the iconic corsetry, the gender fluidity, the raw desire, through the lens of his own body-centric universe. What strikes me immediately on screen is the incredible allure of these modern sirens, pirates, and sailors stepping out with a magnetic posture, instantly evoking Herbert's legendary beach photographs. Looking closer at the pieces, you notice a particularly impressive texture work. The dresses hug the body to perfection, draped in a way that recalls wet sand or seaweed clinging to the skin. The Gaultier atelier has achieved a remarkable piece of textile engineering here. Intricate fishnet-inspired weaves rub shoulders with crocodile skin mimicking latex, while a beaded tartan morphs into ostrich feathers drenched in glycerin. It is a highly precise fluidity that accompanies the body with absolute freedom. But at this stage of the show, I still can't help but wonder if this absolute fascination with nudity and the body doesn't sometimes take over the pure experimentation of volumes. We are looking at a wild, intensely confident posture, but one that occasionally borders on repetition. Fortunately, what makes the Gaultier spirit is humor, and Saint Sernin injects it in a playful and irreverent way to jumpstart the rhythm. We zoom in on surprising details, a marine anchor serving as the sole sail for a sheer dress, or even miniature ship wheels completely replacing the house's mythical cone bra. Personally, I find this collision between a somewhat literal maritime imagery and the grand savoir-faire of haute couture to be extremely modern. It brings a visual boldness that wakes up the runway and keeps it from falling into the literal. The show is a superb rhythmic progression. We start with the raw emotion of the survivors and build to a crescendo toward a total climax, as the final silhouettes of marine creatures hit the runway, breathing a wave of triumphant, sensual, and profoundly liberated energy. The show ends on a powerful emotional note, as the young designer runs to embrace Jean-Paul Gaultier in the front row. You immediately feel the closeness, the relief, and the touching tribute to the legendary house that allowed his dream to come to life. So of course we have to ask the question, does this vision, ultra-centered on skin, transparency, and diaphanous textures, stray too far from the more rigid architecture and structured silhouettes that have also shaped Gaultier's history? For me, this carnal shift is a daring bet, but an undeniably successful one. Ludovic de Saint Sernin brilliantly proves that the house knows how to claim a more undressed glamour without ever losing its theatrical DNA or the absolute high standards of its ateliers. It is a pivotal collection, opening the brand's narrative toward a more airy, mature, and fluid style. What did you think of this couture shipwreck? Do you think this sensual, almost indecent vision belongs in the world of Jean-Paul Gaultier? Or do you prefer the house in its more structured and theatrical classics? Give me your rating out of 10 and all your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for sharing this fashion moment and this maritime story with me. To cultivate your own eye for runway shows, never forget to look beyond the static garment. Always watch how the silhouette moves and how the volumes react to the air. I wish you an excellent time watching the rest of the show. See you very soon for the next breakdown.
to the truth, back to the truth, back to the truth.